And then we got two brand new EDs. I kind of prefer the first ED over the second ED.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember what it looked like. So please give me. So I guess that means I like the second one more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai. And joining me tonight, I have our quack Dr. Chinoda.
I want drugs.
Whoa! The legal kind.
Sure. Let's go with that. Not the type my mom wants.
Medicinal.
Medicinal.
They're all medicinal for her.
And joining us yet again is consummate guest on this show, Ian.
Thank you for having me. At some point, I'm just going to stop thanking you for having me because you just keep having me on.
No, eventually you're going to say, why the hell am I here?
I'm on again. Not to immediately break the fourth wall, but I just got back from AX a couple days ago, so if I'm a little more low energy than usual, that's why.
Yeah, we are.
He's a tired boy.
We are recording this, about a day and a half after Anime Expo has concluded.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he is a tired boy. I'm sure on your socials and everything, you're gonna talk about it and show off all your merch and stuff. So definitely go check it out. I will have all of his socials and stuff linked down below, as well as a link to his YouTube channel where he just put out his elusive samurai video.
I put out my first video in 7 months.
That's what You know what? It was good though. It was worth the wait.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm just glad it's done. I'm just glad.
You know what? It's funny because I've been meaning to get around to watching it, and I finally watched the first episode after I watched your video.
It worked to face.
I guess that first episode of Elusive Samurai is really good.
I was gonna say Shueisha should pay me, but then I realized that they I don't want them to know that I exist because then they would copyright strike content. So
they would.
I take that back.
Also, this is the first time that Ian has joined us for something that isn't like a regular numbered episode topic. This is your first Spoilercast you've joined us for.
Mm-hmm. It's exciting.
Because we are doing our Spoilercast for Apothecary Diaries Season 2. I am excited to get into this and talk about it because the first season was kind of a shock, I think, to all of us because we never even talked about Apothecary Diaries on our season preview that we did when the first season came out, and then we were all watching. It's like we were all watching. It's like, why didn't we talk about this?
You should have watched my short-lived seasonal preview draft videos I used to do, where we talked about Apothecary Diaries at length for whatever season that was. And now I don't do those anymore because they were a lot of work.
What's funny about that is that was the first time because I watched that video because Natai linked it to me and I watched it. It's like that was the first time I ever heard anyone talk about Apothecary Diaries, and that video is what got me to watch the first episode.
Yeah, from the big shows from 23, like Apothecary and Frieren, I knew about Frieren beforehand. I feel like Frieren was in that Dandadan space of a popular manga that people have been talking about for a while, but it took the anime for it to get super popular. I don't think anybody knew what Apothecary was aside from the light novel readers over here, at least, right?
That's also a big difference. Apothecary Diaries is based on a light novel as opposed to a manga, and I feel like even as much as light novels are gaining traction, people still gravitate more towards manga.
Yeah, I mean the manga is the thing people buy, of Apothecary.
I mean, it's the conversation space. It's what everyone knows. It's what we grew up on.
It's also Jump. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was also for a while just harder to find localized light novels.
Outside of Japan until I want to say maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago, it was way harder.
Unironically, it was kind of SAO. Not the couple.
Yeah,
we've literally.
I mean, it
literally
was.
We've immediately gone on a tangent, but
I know. God damn it. Anyway, Apothecary Diaries. Apothecary Diaries Season 2. Let's talk about it. God, one of these days we got to get you on a WTF where we can just go on these tangents.
We can just
hours.
tangent the entire time.
Yes, that's literally what our WTFs are. Nothing but tangents. So, this second season, it is again OLM and Toho Animation Studio back. We have a brand new director for this season. So the first season's director was Norihiro Naganuma. The director for this season was actually the assistant director for the first season, Akinori Fudesaka. My bro did a good job with the second season. And we have the same trio back to do the soundtrack, to score the soundtrack for this season. Satoru Kosaki of Monogatari series fame. We have our boy Kevin Penkin. Bless. He did so good with the Spice of Wolf remake soundtrack. And Elisa, I'm not even going to begin to attempt that last name. Jesus Christ. Anyone want to try?
Okehazama.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, he got it. Yeah,
I would have like dyslexically tripped over that at least 4 times. That's
I need
a lot of
the listeners to know that there's a God of High School reference in the show doc because of
yes,
that,
in the show notes doc, I have put a God of High School reference,
and that soundtrack, which I guess was the best part of the show, was the soundtrack.
Yeah, I put that there specifically to annoy Natai.
Well, and me apparently.
What a show.
Which is funny because Natai's gonna have to edit this, and he hates spoilers, and he's not seen Apothecary Diaries.
But anyway. I think both of the OPs from this season were better than the first season.
I completely agree. 100%. At the first OP, which is Splendid Beauty by Lilas Ikuta. I'm gonna roll with that and say that's how that's pronounced. When I first heard that, I'm like, Yoasobi, is that you?
It's really good. It's also like the most visually. These two are the most visually appealing ones. I think I still like the first one. I know a lot of people will lean towards the second one, which is a Mrs. Green Apple song with the fox masks. But I still think the first opening from the second season is my favorite total package between the song and the visuals. Because a problem I had with the first seasons, not a problem, but like a small problem I had with the first seasons was I felt like the visuals weren't as good as I wanted them to be for an opening. I felt like the first one was like fine visuals wise, and the second one was a step up, but it was really this third one that I thought was like, oh no, this is like a great opening.
Yeah, I completely agree. I like the symbolic visuals in the second one. It's called Mysterious, the one that was done by Mrs. Green Apple. But overall, as a total package, I really love the first OP of this season so much.
I have to say, from this season, I like the first OP more than the second, and it's weird for me because I love Miss Green Apple normally. Like, I absolutely adore them, but I vibed with the first one so much more. Not to say the second one was bad or anything; it was great, but I just like the actual song itself of the first one.
I feel like the second OP. It's a good song, but it lacks the oomph that I'm expecting in a Mrs. Green Apple song.
Yeah, but I don't think we're not Apothecary isn't a battle shonen.
No, it's not.
I don't think we need a Fire Force type opening song.
But that Fire Force opening is fire, literally.
Right? So I think it works really well for like that arc.
Yeah,
as a
it
total
does.
Package.
It's not bad. It's not my preference.
Yeah.
And then we got 2 brand new EDs. I kind of prefer the first ED over the second ED.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember what it looked like. So please give me. So I guess that means I like the second one more. But please give me.
You're just gonna be contrarian. I see how it
one. Well, if I don't remember it, like how great do I? No, I don't want this. Please hold. I looked up ending and it gave me the ending of season 2, like plot wise, which is not what
like the
I'm
final
scene.
For.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
By the way, I do want to say, I know we're going to talk about the plot here in just a bit, but I do want to say they did a Marvel thing and gave us an after credits sequence.
They did. Yeah, okay. No, it's the one where Jinshi is like falls asleep on the desk. Yeah, I think I like this one's good, but I think I definitely like the second one more with the 3 girls.
Okay.
Anyway. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I actually went and watched all 4 right before we started.
Yeah.
So,
I prefer the second one as well. It was just better.
okay.
Not much more to say to that.
I also like Omo no Take quite a bit as well. They did the Blue Period opening, which is a much more upbeat song from them. But
also, I mean, I guess it's a partial title drop in that second ED.
Was there?
I mean, the song is titled Hitori Goto, which is half of the title of Apothecary Diaries.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was mentioning this to Chinoda before you got on here. I'm really glad the English title did not literally translate the Japanese title, because the Japanese title is not very poetic. Literally, it's drugstore monologue.
Yeah.
Soliloquy, monologue. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Apothecary Diaries just
it's such a better title.
Better. Yeah.
It's such a better title in English. Before we talk about anything else with the plot or whatever of this season, I do not remember if I mentioned this when we did our season 1 spoiler cast. If I did, I'm going to mention it again. I absolutely adore the color palette of this anime. It is so good. I love how all the greens and all the flowers and everything, it all pops so well.
It's such a beautiful show.
It is.
I really think I thought the first season kind of got better as it went along, visuals wise. I feel like the second half of the first season was just like them finding what they wanted to do with it. But it looked good from the beginning. I mean, like the garden party scene looks awesome, but the second season is a step up, I think.
I think, yeah, definitely a step up in the visuals department. The background art is amazing, especially later on in the show when it turns into wintertime and we get those beautiful winter scenes. Oh, I'm such a slut for well-animated snow.
No, and it's just the background art in general was just utterly beautiful. But moreover, the character art, holy shit, the amount of detail, the amount of just color palettes in each character, I genuinely was in awe. They found confidence after season 1, and they went at it strong in season 2. I love that.
I had a moment where I was like, you know, that scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is pointing at the television like I had one of those moments while I was watching it, and it's because of the character designs. The whole thing where Jinchi is going to like figure out what's going on with Lolan, and he sees all the ladies in waiting, and he realizes that the person that's sitting in front of him isn't actually Lolan. It's like, I know, because she doesn't have a mole. It's like, I'm right with you, Jinchi. I'm right with you.
That's honestly
serious
really
attention to detail. Yeah.
That also shows you like how like closely I'm paying attention when I watch this shit. I also think that because I watched the first season week to week, and I also watched this season week to week, but about a week and a half ago I started rewatching this from the beginning, this season. I think this show is so much better as a binge watch than as a week to week. Because of the mystery elements, because like it rewards you for paying attention, like because there's so much stuff that's like set up early on that pays off episodes later.
Yeah. Alex and I were actually talking about this earlier, and there are so many different plot points and so many different threads going on. It can be a bit difficult to keep track of, especially if you're watching week to week like we were originally. I can see why it would be a lot easier to binge watch this. I personally think it would be better to like watch it in arcs at most. I still disagree with the binge watch sentiment, but if you were doing it at least in arcs, I feel like you would retain things better and still enjoy watching it in segments. Yeah.
I think it depends on what you want out of it, because the overarching mysteries are easier to keep track of if you're watching it all at once, because you're basically watching for the overarching mysteries. You don't need to figure out in episode mysteries that way. Like that functions the same whether you're watching it one at a time or watching it all at once, because it's all contained in one episode.
Yeah.
What the difference that I think you're getting out of binging it is that you can more easily be like, oh, and then like an hour and a half ago, I watched this other thing that at the time seemed like it was completely irrelevant. And now, oh, it's all coming together, but I'm doing this all. It's like, it's during the runtime of a film instead of over the course of a couple months.
Yeah. And also it's like this series, this story does not introduce things for no reason. Like if something gets introduced and they harp on it for more than 30 seconds, it's going to come up again eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's such a funny thing. It's just like, hey, remember this small thing? Here it is, right in your face. It actually matters.
I was so convinced because I know there was some stuff that came to fruition in this season that they originally set up in the first season. Obviously, the whole thing with what's her name? Sweetrin?
Sweet
Ray. I don't know why I want to call her Sweetrin, but like that was set up in the first season. It came into like effect. It came to fruition here in the second season. I was convinced the whole thing with the brand new eunuch that everyone's like all the girls are like, they're setting up something for season 3. No, they were not. It's stuff like that I absolutely love
so well, because basically I don't remember. I'm trying to remember the first episode she shows up in season 1. It's pretty early. And for the fact
I want to say it's like in the first quarter of the first season.
The fact that is set up, that's a plot point that eventually pays off in full now, 48 episodes in. And it's like the start of the series.
Yeah. That's great writing.
Game. Yeah.
That's great writing. Like, it's something that we talk about a lot in our Spoilercast about setup and payoff. And this is something that it's the setups and payoffs are so well written in Apothecary Diaries if you're willing to stick with it for the long run. If you're someone that goes into mysteries expecting them to be solved, in an episode or two, you're probably going to be very disappointed. Although there are some one-off episodes that, I mean, maybe they're one-off episodes. Who knows? Maybe they'll come to fruition in later seasons. But like, what was one that the ghost story thing? I mean, yeah, that is kind of tied into
and then it winds up being tied in to the Shin Clan stuff, right? Like even stuff like that seems like a and funny,
the stuff with the mirror. Like I thought the mirrors were going to be like a one-off thing. It's like no, that kind of is involved in what's going on at the end of the season too. With the envoys. Because the envoys are the ones that give them the mirrors, and the envoys are involved in the whole Fafa thing.
Yeah, and they're still around too, right?
And they're still around.
So it's just like you said, like they don't set things up for no reason. Because even I think the first season was a little more explicit about it, where even like Mama was explicitly telling you like, these are a bunch of individual things, but it feels like they might line up together, and it all lined up into the first attempt at
quite literally said it.
Jinshi's life. And so they just, even though Mystery of the Week episodes are building into whatever the story is going to do, and it doesn't treat you like an idiot either. Like all the clues are like, this is the thing I like about it the most for a mystery show is, for the most part, particularly with the larger ones, you have all of the information to figure out what is happening. Even if you don't figure it out before the show like gets to the reveal, you can be like, oh wow, yeah, no, this was there's very rarely a mystery that is just like, well, I wouldn't have known. Like with the exception of some of the ones where Maomao like knows a drug or knows an herb that can help fix the situation, like that's one you just wouldn't know. Right, when it's just like her using her knowledge, sure. But like the bigger mysteries are always like foreshadowed and like easy to pick up or like to see what's going on.
Yeah, it's the thing I love the most about this Apothecary Diaries. Honestly, like when the show turns into CSI Maomao, I'm like, I am locked in. I am so locked in. The whole thing with the the ghost with the mirror, like doing the projection thing, that whole episode I was locked in. I'm like, girl, you please tell me how this magic works.
Two of the best versions of that from this early in this season are the colorblind episode.
Yeah.
And the because that's a really good one for like you being able to figure out before the characters tell you what like the mystery is, like how were they going through these, getting these doors correct. And then the old emperor's painting that's like underneath the wall.
God, that was so good. Oh God,
because that also has so many layers to it with all the Jinji stuff that's going on, and then you meet like the one of the old empress, and then you meet like you get so much other information about like the old emperor and his mother, and like what was going on with that becomes so vital to like just like
everything.
The entire story.
Which that's something also that is alluded to in the first season that we get a lot more information on in the second season, is like how bad of a person the late emperor was. Like, dude was a straight up nonce.
Yeah. They really don't tell us a lot about him in the first season and a lot of the second season.
And then they expanded on it very heavily on the second season.
Like, not a good dude.
Like almost every character that gets introduced has some sort of connection to the late emperor, which would make sense given where they are, but it all flows so seamlessly together into the final confrontation.
Yeah.
Shall we get into the spoilers?
Well, we kind of already have, but I don't necessarily want to go through this, line by line and stuff. No. But I definitely want to hit on some of the big plot points of this season. So it starts off pretty soon after we left off in the first season. The whole garden party thing has gone off, and now I'm gonna totally butcher the fucking concubine's name. The pink one. The pink concubine. That's another thing I love about this show, is it color codes a lot of the characters.
Yes.
Because I really I know these names are like, a lot of them are sort of very Chinese names, and I understand that. I struggle with some of these names.
That's fair. Concubine Gyokyo, if I remember right.
You're so much better at pronouncing that than I would have been. Pink one. The pink one. She's pregnant now.
Again.
Again.
She
she's doing her job very, very well. And that whole plot line goes through the entire season, because we also have the thing with the caravan that comes in, right? And they sell all these things. And some of the stuff that they're selling is actually poisonous, so poisonous that it can create an abortion drug.
Yeah, the whole first arc is around the caravan, but as per usual, it has the multiple facets of them talking about the Moon Fairy Princess, who turns out to be the owner of the Pleasure District.
Old lady, yeah.
The Pleasure District club that Mao's from. And that's one of those lines. And then you also have the abortion drug, and then you also have this stuff with, now I'm not going to remember what the blue concubine's name is.
The blue one, Li Hua.
Li Hua, yeah.
Yeah, and her, because she's also pregnant, and then her lady in waiting is actually trying to create the drug because she hates her because she wanted to be the concubine, not Li Hua. It just as we're talking about it right now, things are just coming back. That I'm like, wow, it's just like there was all that going on in a couple episodes to start the season. Completely not even attached to where we ended up. Just all the different things that happened just at the beginning of the season with the caravan.
Yeah, you literally start off with political intrigue, mystery, revelations of old secrets. Just good old Apothecary Diaries, starting off strong.
And speaking of things that come back, right? The first episode is where they find the cat. The cat. Yeah. How'd the cat get into the?
Yeah, how that connects to the end. Yeah. Oh my god.
How did the cat get in here? And it's through the secret passage that was built. That's how they kidnap Maomao later in the season. Yeah, that's how the cat got in.
with the whole what the hidden like passage thing.
Yeah,
under the palace.
that's how
That
Suyori gets back in.
wild. That was wild to me. How they like. I thought with the whole thing with the cat is that it's going to belong to someone who's going to show up later on in the season, right? And they're going to be some like political dynamo. And that's how what I thought it was going to be. Is like, no, it's actually going to be all this other shit. And I'm like, holy shit. How do you do this? How do you write like this? Please teach me. I wish to know. Also, I feel like the whole thing with the founding the penmanship school and teaching more of the servants to like read and write, that's got to come back eventually to something, right?
It's definitely a setup for something. There's no way it isn't.
I mean, it already
it's
has
got to be
to some extent
because they
right?
spend like almost 2 whole episodes talking about it.
You were saying it already has led to something.
The ending of the act, like the last scene or one of the last scenes of the season is Xiaolan, who could not read or write at the beginning of the season, sending that note,
sending a letter,
Maomao.
Yeah,
right?
I guess in a way, yeah, that has come back, but I feel like it's also it's got to be a setup to something else later on. I think, maybe.
I don't know.
I'll say this:
none of us here, at least as far as I know, have read the source material, so we don't know what's going to happen next.
I'll say this: I wouldn't be surprised if there was dividends to teaching all the servants.
True.
Yeah, it could be something like that. I could also see it as it's just being like, no, actually, the new regime is a little better, or a lot better than the
previous emperor.
Because they don't spend a lot of time on the emperor, the current emperor, as much, but they spend a lot of time being like, well, the former emperor was really bad, and so I could see it just being, another notch in the the new emperor and his brother are better people than their father was.
True. It's funny because I talked about this during our first season Spoilercast we did, so it isn't immediately obvious, but the story is supposed to be like a sort of very fictionalized representation of the Tang dynasty in Chinese history, right? And the Tang dynasty was in power between 618 and 907 AD. I did a little research on this. So, one of the plot points of this season revolves around like the abolition of slavery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The real life Tang dynasty, while they didn't outright outlaw slavery, they did heavily discourage it by taxing people a much higher rate that had slaves.
They made it economically
disadvantageous.
unfeasible. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a really cool like nod to like real world history. And I love the fact that Apothecary Diaries does that sometimes too. Like it does these real life, like real world nods to genuine Chinese history, even though it's ostensibly a fantasy story.
Yeah, it makes it very clear. They have, I don't think they have the exact like any resemblance to real people or areas is simply coincidence, but they do have the like this is based off of the fiction. It is not based off of any historical country, China or otherwise.
Yeah,
but it's like
yeah,
yeah,
we sure
it's legally distinct.
But I do think that was a really interesting way of like incorporating something sort of like real world history into the show, even though trust me guys, it's not based on real world or real life events.
I wonder, I don't think it is, because I feel like enough people, it wouldn't be this popular if it was just like people being like, oh, I'm so interested in history. But I do wonder if the setting being pretty distinct for at least a popular anime is just part of why it's been so popular, because it's so different. New. It's so different than other shows.
Yeah. I think that definitely takes a part of it as to why it's so popular. Like, I mean, we're so used to the bog standard whatever fantasy, modern day, or something that takes place in like the semi-recent past. What? No, this is like something that hasn't been done in a good while. It takes place in ancient times.
I mean, to be fair, like if you look at a lot of anime that are super super popular, especially historically, it's either been Japanese teenagers, it's either been teenage characters in a Japanese centric fantasy setting, isekai with a teenage character. Like, that's pretty much been it. I mean, that's like most of the popular anime over the last 10 years.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, every so often you'll get something that's more of a Western fantasy thing that becomes popular. Like, Free Run is very much like a Western fantasy kind of thing, but that's what it's been most of. And yeah, I think there is a little bit of novelty to the fact that this is something that's taking place in what is essentially a fictionalized version of early medieval China.
Yeah. I just wonder if it had been like, you know, in I think if it was written the same, if it was in Japan or Korea, I don't think it would have mattered. I think it's at the end of the day, it's the mystery writing and
True.
the characterization that drives the story. I was just wondering,
Yeah.
I was thinking like, I don't see a lot of, you know, inner palace intrigue set in, you know, legally distinct China.
I love the political.
I do think
in this
it's
show,
definitely
though.
a good draw. Yeah.
I do love all the political intrigue, though. That is really great, especially like the how these people who are all part of the same royal palace just try to fuck each other over all the time. Especially the concubines, they're so catty.
I mean, that's the drama aspect, and we as humans and as people, we just love that shit. We are so vain.
There are times where I'm like, am I watching the Apothecary Diaries or am I watching Guiding Light?
Yeah, there honestly, I feel like there was less of that in this season, if only because of like all the work Mamo had to do in the first season to deal with it.
True,
Right.
and that was a big plot point in the first season with like Aldo.
Yeah, when
all that
she
stuff.
leaves, and also the whole thing with Li Hua, where she was very sick, and they like wouldn't let Mamo help her, and then eventually she did. And that like because that basically took out like she wasn't a minor antagonist, but she was definitely like there was like an antagonist group of her pavilion towards Mamo in the first season, and then by now, you know, she's done so much to help her that there's still they'll occasionally do the bits where the people that Mamo have like hit like freak out, they're like really scared of her. But I feel like most of the concubines have kind of been pushed towards the back in this season, with the exception of course Lolon, the one who is the main character too, of this season.
Yeah.
No, even Gyokyo is like barely in the second half of this season. There's
like,
a couple episodes about
here
her
and there.
giving birth, but like she's not as prominent as she was in the first season.
True, but her birth is a plot line that does run through the entire season.
Yes.
Or her pregnancy, rather.
Yes.
Which I was very pleasantly surprised that Maomao actually does have a part to play in that too, with the whole breached birth thing and like the treatment that she comes up with. Also, I love the fact that it brings her adopted father back.
Yeah.
And her real father. I was genuinely wondering, I was like, after what happened in the first season, is he going to be anything resembling a prominent character anymore? And we got more than halfway through the season. I'm like, well, I guess not. And then there he is. He shows up again.
You know, he's spending so much time playing checkers with his. Well, I don't actually remember if it's technically his wife or not, but essentially,
I mean, they did say in that episode where he does show up and talks to the guy, it's like, oh yeah, you recently got married. It's like, oh yeah,
I guess yeah. No,
Yeah, he did.
God,
unless he's a big fat liar.
The end of the first season is so good. I know that's not what we're talking about. But like the end of the first season was the moment where I was like, oh wow, this show's like really good. Like not just like, oh, this is a good seasonal show. Like, oh no, this is like one of the best shows that's come out in the last 5 years.
That's how I was during the first season. Like 3/4 of the way through the first season, I'm like, this is a really good show. And then that last quarter of the first season, I'm like, this is a really great show.
It's the episode where she saves Jinshi from getting crushed by the ritual thing that drops.
Yes.
And then the reveal,
which plays into the second season, by the way, because we figure out who was behind that.
Yeah, we figure out who was trying to kill him because they try to do it again.
Yes.
And then the episode at the end of the first season where they like reveal everything that was going on with her mother, and reveal everything that happened that led to her being born, and it's just so good. It's so good. The show's so good.
This show is really good. I also really like the episode with the whole moon fairy dance. I know we talked about it already, but like the solution to that with having Jinshi dress up.
I have to say though, I genuinely loved that dance scene. I thought it was beautiful. I mean, it's one of those where I would just go back and watch it again, just because I was like, holy shit, they put some serious production into this.
It was the best dance scene in the season until the second to last episode. Then it was the second best dance
bro.
end the season.
You know what, when that happened, I know we're really jumping around here, but when that happened, the second that whole dance scene started, I just got that scene of George Lucas in my mind. It's like poetry, they rhyme. Because it was like the dance at the end of the first season.
Yeah, it's every season is now just going to end with a prominent female
dance
character dancing.
With the dance number.
That's the through line. That's the thematic through line.
So this is why it's so good. This is actually a theatrical. Yeah, it's theatrical.
Yeah. Give this anime a Tony Award stat.
No, genuinely, I really love the fact that they put so much effort into characters dancing, because it shows off such a characterization in such vivid detail. The emotions on their face, the lighting, the music. Oh my god, the music in a scene. Fucking out of here. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, we talk a lot about the writing, and we will continue to talk a lot about the writing because I think it is the show's biggest strength. Mm-hmm. But I think it's such a perfect production of letting the writing shine, but also it looks great and it sounds great. Where I think this show could still work with a lesser production, but I don't think it would be this popular or this good. Right? The writing is a lot of the heavy lifting, but the direction and the music are what make this this is one of the best shows that's come out in the last 5-10 years level, instead of like, this is a great show you should check out, which there have been some shows that have come out in the last 5 years that are in that range of like, oh, this writing of the show is incredible, but it just doesn't look, it just doesn't look as good as you would hope. This just looks as good or more, as I'm sure people who read the novels were hoping for.
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, there's no better way to describe it. Yeah, no, full on agree.
I was like, how do I add to this? It's like, no, he said everything I was thinking. Yeah.
And also I was
thinking, can you tell he does video essays?
I was thinking of something that you just mentioned a minute ago, where you said, well, we're jumping ahead. I feel like there's almost no way to discuss this in a spoiler cast without just jumping around, because because things that are getting introduced as we're rolling through the first third of the story right now, things that are getting introduced ultimately have the point or their conclusion at the end, right? Like I talked a little bit about the thing with Shin, Li Hua's lady in waiting, who was making the abortion drug in secret because she was very jealous of her. They're cousins. I think they're cousins. I think I said sisters earlier. Yeah. I think they're cousins.
No, they're cousins.
Because Li Hua was chosen over Shin to be the concubine, and that's the end point of that abortion drug portion of the story. But then it comes back all the way at the end, where it's revealed that the part of the reason why it was brought in was Lolan wanted it brought in because she took it, because she didn't want to have the emperor's child. And like that's revealed like in the second to last episode, that's like the final point of like something you probably haven't thought about in 15 episodes. Of like, no, like the reason why it was brought in the first place was for her. It was just that Shin found out about it and then was so jealous of her cousin that she also took advantage of it and tried to kill the other child.
See,
Holy shit! I just thought of something.
Oh, hold on, because that's what we're talking about here. This is how good the writing is, because that's set up, and then again, it pays off episodes later.
Yeah, I think the Lihua episode is like 7 or 8.
It's
Let's see.
7, 8, 9, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's like episode 8, not even 7, I think. And
7?
then obviously the stuff with Lolan is at the end of the season.
I mean,
it really does leave you speechless sometimes.
One of my favorite things about this season in particular is the whole thing with Shisui, right? Because, and by the way, if you go to Mal, it will literally give the fucking twist away.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we were recording. Of if you look at,
I wonder why they have the same voice actor.
Seto Asami is the voice actor for Lolan and Shisui.
I wonder.
How suspicious.
I wonder what this could mean. You know what was funny is that you got me. You really got me, because I did not realize until it was revealed, like, oh my god, what the fuck? This person has been in our midst the whole time.
I never put the dots together either, yeah. So I completely fell for it.
I realized, like I said, I think the episode, like right before, like during the episode where it's revealed and you finally have all the information, I was like, oh, because it's when they go to Lolan, or the fake Lolan, and Jinshi realizes it's not her. And then you're like, huh. And then
see, that's where that's the moment where I realized, wait a minute, is Shisui actually Lolan? And I was like, no. And then, like, what is it, like 3 scenes later, you're like, oh Jesus Christ.
So it's funny, I didn't put it together until they literally told us, but I was suspecting, okay, she's clearly of highborn noble birth or something, because she knows a lot more than a lot of the others, and she has the acting and mannerisms to do a lot of things above other servant girls. So I suspected she was someone important that probably got sold off as a servant or something. I just didn't realize who she was until they told us, but I was suspecting something the whole time.
She can also read and write, which is hella suspicious for a servant girl.
That probably would have been the giveaway.
Yeah.
I wonder at what point you could reasonably put it together. Obviously, if we went back and watched it now, there are things you could be like, oh, they're like, calling it out.
That's
here.
so obvious. Like,
yeah,
why didn't I figure this out?
Without hindsight, I'm honestly wondering at what point you could be like, oh, because for the Jinshi stuff, you can earlier in the season, I think a few episodes before they actually explicitly said it was when I realized that who he was. I think it's one of the first like times they mention like the Emperor's brother and like other stuff that's going on with that. I think towards the end, because towards the end of the first season, you can kind of start to be like, who is
Something's up here.
But that one, I think I realized a little sooner. The Shisui stuff was definitely like the episode it was revealed.
I do remember during season 1, I did figure out that he was directly related to the Imperial family. I just didn't know how, because I was like, okay, this is kind of obvious who he is and what he's about. I just couldn't figure out, oh, he's the Emperor's direct brother. Didn't see that until season 2.
I will say there is another point in this season where the whole thing with Lolan / Shisui should be very suspicious. During the whole thing where they're doing the massages, and you have that one moment where Lishu, the underage concubine, rolls up. Shisui makes a very hasty exit because she realizes that Lishu will recognize her on sight. That should have been also that should have been a tell that something was up. But yeah, in hindsight, it's way easier to see the tells. But yeah, great. That was a great reveal. That was a phenomenal reveal.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if you've ever rewatched the first season of Attack on Titan.
Mm.
They do some which is funny. They do some really, really obvious direction in the first season, where they'll be like talking about Titans, or they'll be talking about like, and they'll cut to like Berthold and Reiner,
Yeah,
and like just like very obviously just like cut to them, and just hold it. And if you're watching, you're like, oh, they're just cutting the side characters, but it's like super obvious shit.
Yeah, like they frame it as like reaction shots, like they're reacting to what's being said.
But so I'm honestly,
it's not what it is.
Need to go back and rewatch some of the first half of the season of Apothecary and see like how obvious that they make it from the directional standpoint.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I absolutely adored was the whole hunting expedition, whatever we want to call that. The whole thing where they call out Jinchi and they go hunting and everything, because that is a huge turning point in this season. Because that's where we first see like the Feifas, which are the pistols, and the whole assassination attempt, and of course, we get the waterfall scene, which is
the frog.
Frog scene.
I will never look at frogs the same way again. I do like how this episode has confirmed that it is canonical that apparently Jinchi is packing down there.
Hell yeah.
God, it's so like it's such a weird scene where it's just like there's all this other intrigue going on, and then they're like, okay, but we're gonna do this for a little bit.
But
I mean,
really,
you gotta get a little romance development
It is
somewhere.
Romance. It is a slow burn romance, but it is a romance. I suppose.
It is a very slow burn romance, which I hope is going to pay off in spades, eventually. But I talked to Chinoda about this earlier. It's like, I laughed my ass off every single time that Jinchi gets absolutely cucked by random shit throughout this entire season.
The one in the last episode is like, okay, we're just doing.
It's now a running gag.
We're just fucking with Jinchi, yeah.
Yeah. Because I thought in the final episode, I'm like, all right, this is it. They're alone. There's no one else around. And all of a sudden, kid bursts through the door. I was like, God damn it.
The first time a kid comes back to life, and that interrupts him. And then the second time, one of the kids bursts into the door.
Oh, that poor kid never realized how close he was to death again.
I'm like fine with it though, because like, to be perfectly honest, this is just my personal opinion. I would like a little more of like Maomao very clearly being at all interested in him.
Oh yeah,
because
agreed.
It's not really like to me.
No, I mean at the moment where we are, she's like, "Ew, romance. I don't want to touch that." And I'm not interested.
Like to me, I think if a kiss had happened there, I would have been like, okay, sure, but like I would like it to feel more earned or more like consensual, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly the most consensual thing or consensual setup, but I feel like you said, it's very slow burn, and I feel like in another season we might finally get to see some of that. But yeah, I get where you're coming from though, because up to this point, Maomao hasn't shown, at least openly, any kind of I won't say affection, but
romantic
interest.
Like romantic interest. I think she's shown affection. I think she cares about him.
Yeah,
she really likes him, like as a person.
Yeah.
But she just doesn't like some of the stuff he does from time to time.
Yeah. Which I don't either, to be perfectly honest. I don't fucking the funny part. There's the stuff in the waterfalls. Some of that stuff's really funny, and then there's one part that I see where I'm like, Jinchi, what are we doing here? Like, calm down.
You're talking about where he like pins her down. It's like, we're gonna do this. I'm like, that was like
so out of character, to be perfectly honest. It didn't feel like something like that. Like maybe it's not something that Jinchi would do, but it's like something that he would do. If that makes sense, because they're like technically two different. Technically, Jinchi is a front that he puts on.
Yeah,
and that's the front we've been seeing for most of the season, versus the person he actually is. And I do not remember his actual name, and I was trying to remember that while we were talking about this, and I do not remember it because everyone immediately goes back to calling him Jinchi or the Moon Prince. So I don't actually remember what his name is.
Ka Zuegetsu.
Okay.
Oh, that's it.
Sounds
That's it,
good.
yeah. I'm just gonna call him Jinchi.
I will keep calling him Jinchi, but I wanted to
Yeah,
make sure I
just like
remember.
everyone
Jinchi
else.
is way
Actual
better. Is way better. Way easier to say. But yeah, that scene where he like pins her down against the rock and it's like, okay, we're doing this. Like, whoa, bro,
It's kinda like-
bro.
Come on, let's calm down. Like, calm down here.
That's actually a moment where I'm like, I'm happy the dog interrupted.
Is that 3 or 4 He gets interrupted at least 3 times in the season.
He
It might
gets
be-
I think
interrupted.
at least 3.
He gets interrupted at least 3 times, like in the moment. But I think there's one other time where he gets interrupted where he's going to go to her and tell her something, but he gets interrupted by something else.
There's also he gives her the ox
Oxbezor.
bezor, and she closes the door on him before he can tell her.
Yeah.
I love when she gets Oxbezor. She gets so excited. I love seeing that reaction.
But her reaction to the medicine and stuff is like watching someone pull an SSR in Fate Grand Order.
Yeah. Interesting that you would choose that specific gacha game of all things.
I mean, am I wrong, Ian?
No, it depends. It depends on what the SSR is, but yes, I'm not
mean,
disagreeing.
How's
with
your
you.
wallet doing, Ian?
I haven't spent. Well, actually, I did spend money this week because it was guaranteed SSR. But that's like the only thing. We're gonna get on a tangent, so I'm not gonna keep talking about this. But that's like the only thing worth spending money on because you're guaranteed a 5-star. Don't spend money on the game, otherwise it's a bad investment.
I understand because I recently started playing Musume. I'm with you. I have played the Horse Girl game. It is fun.
I'll just be thankful over here because the only gacha game I did play shut down. Konosuba.
Oh yeah, that was the
Fantastic
Konosuba one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get fucked.
Yeah, my poor wallet. It's much more full now.
Yeah. Also, fun fact: I noticed a historical anachronism in that whole episode with the waterfall.
Oh, the CPR. Yeah.
Genji performed CPR on Maomao. He should not know how to do that if this takes place in the time period it's supposed to be taking place in.
Well,
because CPR wasn't codified and wasn't widely known until about the early 1600s.
Well, that would fit in the timeline, right? You said Tang Dynasty was like 16 to 9.
From the 680s to the 970s.
I thought you said 16 to 19. You said 6 to 9. Okay, got it.
Before 1000 AD.
Yeah.
Now, mouth to mouth, which he also does, has been around for thousands of years, but he should not know how to do CPR.
Well, that's fine.
That's a little fun.
It's technically not a historical fiction.
I watched that. I'm like, how do you know how to do that? I know you're rich and I know you come from wealth and education, but you should not know how to do that at this time. It's like seeing an alarm clock in ancient Rome.
Really funny part about this section of the story is that, like, even though he doesn't tell her, Mamo figures it out and just goes like, I'm not going to, like, she figures it out and just goes like, nope, that's going, I don't need to know that.
To the delete.
I don't need to know that information. It is going away.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to just take that and just...
That was clearly a frog I felt under his garments. Nothing else.
I mean, it makes sense.
Which is fair, because she doesn't want to be stuck in the whole bullshit. Like, there's so much going on in the back palace already. She's like, nope, I just want to do my job, have fun with drugs, that's all. I don't want any political drama.
Yeah.
Like,
do you
ultimately, I think she's probably well, I guess we'll see where we go in the next season, but she's probably happier where she ends up at the end of this season.
Oh yeah.
Than where she was at the start of the season. But
yeah,
you know,
I had a thought, and now it's gone. Much like Mao's not wanting to realize what Jinshi is.
What you guys think of? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, it makes sense that Mao would want to do that too, and she brings it up, like, because if she has this knowledge and she accidentally lets it out, they're gonna execute her.
Yeah, that is the literal sword of Damocles that is constantly over her head.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, what'd you guys think of the Fox Village and the Stronghold arc?
I loved it. I love
Yeah,
the resolution
I guess
to
we're not
everything
jumping
because
that
like
far ahead.
when
Yeah.
when Mao Mao gets abducted or kidnapped, however you want to call it, I'm sitting here wondering all these episodes in, I'm like, why'd they do this? Why why do they need Mao Mao of all people? Why is she so important to them? And then you find out is they want her to make like a immortality potion or some shit. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that's important to you.
It's such good characterization for, I'm not gonna remember the character's name, but Shisui's mother.
Shinmei?
Yes,
Shinmei.
Shinmei.
It's such perfect characterization for Shinmei because she's so vain. Because this is ultimately what brings this all crashing down. If they never kidnap Mao Mao, who knows when everyone figures out that they've been,
Duped.
taking funds to help build their stronghold and basically, committing light treason against the emperor under the guise of, oh yeah, we're just helping out over here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, forget light treason. Leaving the rear palace without the emperor's permission is treason.
Well, yeah.
It's high treason.
And so, but like, who knows when Junshi would have realized that Lolan was gone, if not for the fact that they kidnapped Mao Mao. And literally the only reason they do it is because Shenmei wants an apothecary to
make the immortality
make
potion.
her eternally young. And it's just like, it's just such a bad plan.
It's so bad because like even the people around her like want it to fail because they know it's gonna fail. They know if she sets off this like war, which she will, if with all these people that she's like taken from the rear palace, it's gonna start some kind of a rebellion, and none of the people that matter to the rebellion actually want it to succeed.
I would like to rescind not rescind what I just said. I'm realizing now that I think they kidnapped her because she was going to figure out what was going on with Shisui. But I don't, because it wouldn't make sense, because now it's all, I'm going backwards, and like, they didn't kidnap her and immediately bring her to Shenmei. She got brought to Shenmei because Shenmei found her in the little like hut that she broke into with Kuo. And so now why did they kidnap her? Please hold.
Please.
Please hold.
Wasn't it because of the fact that she discovered them as they were going, and they were like, "Oh shit, we have to take her."
Yeah, they had to take her with. They had to take her with.
In the moment, because like she knew too much, but it also turns out, hey, she's an apothecary and she can help with this shit that I've been trying to do. I guess it kind of worked out in that way. I do think that eventually, even had they not kidnapped Mao Mao, I do think Mao Mao would have eventually realized that Shisui was Lolan. I think she would have eventually figured it out.
Yes.
I mean, considering she often puts details together, it would have been an eventual thing, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe it was...
Yes.
The jig was up.
She was starting to figure it out because she found. This is when she was trying to figure out how the abortion stuff got into the rear palace, and she finds all the stuff with the women that work at the clinic, and then she gets a book there and realizes that it was Shisui's insect book, and she starts being like, what's going on here? Would a servant girl know how to do this? And that's when everything starts to come together with stuff with the former emperor and the women at the clinic, and then that's when Suirei confronts her, and basically like I think it probably panics and kidnap, and that's when you don't know yet that Shisui is, because she kidnaps Shisui and Mao Mao, and Shisui's acting like she's being kidnapped, not that she's going with her sister. Okay, sorry. That is the reason she's kidnapped, not that Shenmei wants a new apothecary.
When they're being led to the village, the whole snake thing, when Maomao throws the snake in front of Sui
Ray.
Ray because she realized that she's terrified of snakes. And that's when
Yes.
the whole like the thing about it being an act for Lolan is like that's when that's up.
Yeah, I think that's the moment you. Sorry, Natai was backing up away from the microphone. I think that's the moment you can probably first absolutely like lock in. Okay, no, like she's Lolan. Okay, yeah. Sorry, that was. I feel like we get most of the plot here correct. That was the one time where I do still think it's good characterization for Shenmei that she's trying to make a mortality potion because she's just such a vain individual. But her desire for that was not what brought it all crumbling down. It was just that eventually it was going to get found out by Maomao.
Yeah.
And so they had to do the only thing they could do, which was kidnap her. And then that brought everything down anyway.
And the clues that Maomao leaves behind are genius. Like using the alcohol to rub the characters into the sheet of paper and then put it in the tree. That was brilliant. It's like, because like only her adopted father would have understood what to do with that piece of paper.
And it's also a bunch of coincidences come together to make that work. Because I believe they can only read part of it, and it's like the she part of it. And so that's how they figure out like Shisui. Like, can anyone tell me anything about the servant girl Shisui? And they can't. They don't know who she is. They don't know how she got in there. Yeah. And then that's when he goes to confront Lolan. And that's when it basically all comes crumbling down from the first perspective of what's happening here. They kidnap Maomao, and then eventually Lacan's adopted son is the one that figures out that they're taking funds and
I have a feeling that's another aspect that's they would have discovered the rebellion through that way as well.
Yeah,
because of the paperwork.
They would have eventually figured out that, hey, we're missing funds in our treasury. Someone is embezzling money to do something with it. So eventually there would have been some kind of an investigation through that means.
But potentially not fast enough to avoid a rebellion.
No, yeah, exactly.
Right? Like that is the critical part of that is that they were pretty far along building those guns.
Yeah, it is funny though. Like there are like 3 or 4 different routes just where they would have eventually been found out. Either it was going to be Maomao, the embezzlement, the thing with Lola. I mean, they were going to find out eventually because they could not keep up this charade forever.
I do wonder, like, if they had let Maomao figure it out on her own, just the Shisui part, if things they wouldn't, like, she wouldn't have told, like, would she have told Jinshi? Because she was friends with, like, this is all what if, so it doesn't really matter into what we're talking about. It's just like I think they acted rashly kidnapping her. I think they maybe could have let her figure things out there, and maybe the punishment wouldn't have been as bad.
Maybe, but I mean, to be fair, like you said, they kind of panicked in the moment, and it makes sense. In a panic situation, you even with the most well thought out plans, eventually you got that panic moment and you fuck them up. So yeah, it is sort of speculation, but this is why it's good. This is why the writing is good, because we're sitting here saying, "Hey, but what if they did this? What if they did that?" It's like talking about Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, to answer your question, no, this is the best arc in the show so far.
Yeah, the whole thing with the kidnapping and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Like this is 100% the best arc in the show so far. I also love how you talk about characterization, right? With Shinmei and Shisui and all that family. That is a messed up as fuck family dynamic.
Yeah. That's like the one thing of all the things in the show of how many characters there are, how many connections there are, how many relationships there are. The one that I had the most trouble with was until like the very end was trying to figure out what exactly whose daughter was who, because they say that she oh my god, Suiren is Shiso's daughter from a woman that he married while Shenmei was at the Rear Palace.
Yeah.
But then, and that's why Shenmei hates her. But then it's revealed at the end that actually she's the old emperor's daughter, and that she's she's the old emperor's granddaughter.
Yeah.
And that his daughter was the one that he gave to Shiso as a wife. He like begged him to marry her, and that's
because they were that child was a product of was it out of
wedlock.
No, now you've got me second guessing.
See, this is the one thing this is the one thing that made me so confused. No, she's the.
Can someone out there make like a family tree chart for all these characters, please?
I'm sure it exists. Who's? Oh my God, we're doing a spoiler cast. I don't even have the stuff correct.
It's so complicated.
No, this is actually a good point of contention that I think that some people might have. It's like all these connections are great, and it's great world building and character building and characterization, but it is difficult to keep up with sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
To the point where I almost feel like I need to have family tree charts up when they talk about different characters.
Shisho gave up his future to save her, marrying the emperor's illegitimate daughter, Suirei's mother, as a part of an agreement with the previous emperor.
Yeah.
Suirei, yeah.
Okay, so
the child was born out of wedlock.
So Suirei is Shisho's daughter, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that part is correct. The reveal is that she has imperial blood because her
mother was
Shiso
the
didn't
imperial
choose to take her mother as his wife. The emperor begged him to take her as his wife, which Shenmei never knew, which is why she was so mad at him, despite the fact that he was dedicated to her his entire life. Okay.
We've got this. It is a lot. It's a lot to take in all at once. Also, on a personal note, I should have said this earlier. With the whole thing with Shisui / Lolan, right? Very personal note. If you come up against a girl who's outright eating bugs, run. Just run.
Look, they're not that bad. They're fun, okay?
No, fuck you.
You can eat bugs.
I'm not saying that you can't eat bugs. I'm saying...
You're saying you don't want to eat bugs.
I don't want to eat bugs.
Okay.
Alex, you're a Floridian. You eat so many things.
More bugs for me.
More bugs for you.
More bugs for me.
Listen, I would rather starve to death than ever eat a bug. Voluntarily.
I'm not like going out looking for them, but like, if I need to eat bugs, I'll eat bugs.
Now, see, you say that, but we see an actual scene where this bitch orders locusts to eat.
You've never had fried locusts. They're good as fuck.
There's a lot of things I've never had, but I don't want. I've never had cow testicles, but I don't want them.
Have you had Red Bull?
That would be bull.
Have I had Red? No,
actually, technically.
Well,
actually,
beef testicles. Excuse me.
Oh
I guess
goodness.
bull meat would still be beef, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
Anyway, the whole part of this, the whole last
the whole point,
of the
whole
story.
point is I don't like bugs. I don't eat bugs. And if you ever come up against a girl who wants to take you to a bug restaurant, do not go. Break up with her. She's not worth it. There are other fish in the sea.
Or she's batshit crazy, and you should definitely go for it.
Don't put your dick in crazy, please.
I'm sorry, Ian.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was just about to cope. I was going to say it's a testament to the story's writing that there's so much going on that it's just impossible to totally keep track of it sometimes. And I think that you could level it as a criticism. I don't think it's a strong criticism because I don't think it is so overwhelming if you put in the work to like figure out what's going on.
Well,
no, right? I don't think it's a criticism at all.
I knew the stuff with Suirei. I'm just trying to recall it, and then I can't because it gets messed up in my head.
So you could level that as a criticism, and if it's not your thing, it's certainly not your thing. I know that not everyone wants to sit and have complex stories, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But Natai and I were talking about this several months ago about like the difference between a complex story and a convoluted story. They are different things. Where I would say that that Apothecary Diaries is a complex story, but it is not a convoluted story.
Not 1 minute.
No.
And there is a difference. Like a convoluted story is one where they just throw a bunch of stuff in there just to make it seem like more than it is. But a complex story has all that stuff there for a reason, and it all
multiple
comes to
moving
fruition.
parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it challenges the viewer to engage with the show, constantly forces you to think and figure things out, as well as keep track of all the different politics, family trees, etc.
Yeah. I love that's like I said, I love the political intrigue in this, and it's difficult to keep up with sometimes, but it is the most fascinating part of it for me.
Yeah. Again, it's a drama show. And we as humans love drama.
It just all comes to such a perfect head in that it's the second to last episode, which I think is... Previously, I would have said the last episode of season 1 was my favorite episode, and it's still up there, but I definitely think the second to last episode where basically everything is revealed, partially because Shisui does like monologue, does like a Metal Gear Solid monologue.
Literally.
Why are we here?
Right.
Just to suffer.
She basically explains everything that hadn't already been explained in the story. You finally officially learn who Suirei is. You learn like what Shiso is doing, and then
all the abuse,
and then just such a perfect ending to Shenmei's character, even her short-lived character. She's only in the show for like 4 or 5 episodes.
But wow, what a character!
Such a horrible person, just so unnecessarily cruel, and then that cruelty is what kills her.
Yeah. Well, I would also point to maybe her vanity also had a helping hand in her downfall.
It was a mix.
I thought you were
going to
say the gun. But...
I mean that too.
I was going to say what?
The gun.
Oh, I mean, yes, the gun also had a big part of down. But guns don't kill people. Writers who use guns do. It was literally Chekhov's gun.
Oh God. I do find it fascinating how the second to last episode is not only one of the strongest episodes of this entire show, but it's also the episode where we get the least amount of maomao the entire time.
Yeah.
We only got her for like maybe a minute or two at the very end. The rest of the episode was just dedicated to the political plot, and I loved it. I was locked in that whole episode.
The entire final arc. The entire final arc, I was locked into everything. I was hanging on every single word.
Ultimately, the final couple episodes, well, not the last episode, but the final couple episodes of that arc, she's not the main character.
No.
Shisui
no, she's not.
Shisui is more or less the main character. Like, it's about her and her family and what they're
and the resolution of everything that she's been through.
And the, like, horrible rot that took over her family.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that is what her story is about. It's about letting corruption fester. I mean, there's an entire episode in this season called Festering Resentment. And, like, that's the entire crux of her family's story.
It's so interesting to me, because then you go back, it has me going back to the waterfall, the hunting trip, and being like, was Shiso doing that because he genuinely, was he doing that because he genuinely wanted to rebel, or was he simply doing that because, well, he's in too deep at this point, you got to keep going, this is just we're gonna try and kill the Emperor's brother? Yeah,
the second one. I don't think he actually wanted to do it.
Yeah, I do too. That is the characterization I get from him by the end. Of it was just like, well, here we are. Like, I love my original wife too much. to give up on her, and she's just driving us into hell.
I love one of my favorite tropes in fiction is when someone who is a villain or an antagonist, like the jig is up for them and they get caught or they're about to get their comeuppance, and they know they're gonna die, but they take their death with dignity. And Shiso literally takes his death with dignity. Like when his time comes, he's like, I know that what I did was wrong, and I know you're gonna kill me for it. But you know what? I'm okay with that.
Not to mention finding out after the fact what he did to get rid of the corruption that existed, and it turns out no, he did still care for his country and the emperor who ruled it, and it was just like, oh shit, you're not like truly a bad guy.
That's the moment for me where I was like, oh shit, where they reveal that he'd be doing all these bad things, right? But he had taken all of the bad corruption, like basically into his house.
Yeah.
Like he had taken all the people who were willing to do things like this, all the people who were corrupt, all the people who were more or less,
he had centralized the corruption to like one specific spot.
So that when the jig was up,
the villain the country needed.
Yeah, like when everything was up, all of a sudden all those people were rightfully in the place to be excised from the government.
It's brilliant.
It really is.
I love writing like that.
Yeah.
I love character writing like that. And like I said, it's one of my favorite tropes in fiction when a villain like realizes that shit. And it's like, okay.
It's done so well because he's not right. You
a
have
true villain.
Yeah, but you also have Shenmei. So you have a misguided, incredibly cruel, vain villain. But then you also have this like who you think is like a conniving, and he is, but like a conniving, in the background's villain, but it's not.
They call
black
him the
and
Sly
white.
Tanuki.
He's not evil. He's not doing good things, but he's not evil. And I think it's just so perfect that you have the way he dies, which is laughing, versus the way Shenmei dies, which is from her own choices, basically. She decides the only thing for the entire time she's in the story, the only thing we hear is that the only person she loves is Lolan. The only person she cares about is her daughter. She hates everyone else. She only just loves her daughter. Obviously, Shisui reveals that love is not what we would consider
love.
Like real love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's as a doll. She's her doll, right?
Yeah.
But then in the end, she even forsakes her daughter. She decides she needs to kill her daughter. She tries to shoot her daughter, and then the gun backfires and kills her.
Isn't it funny that her vanity kills her in that moment because she's so convinced that the gun is just going to work?
Yeah.
Like it's always worked. And she doesn't even think about the fact that it's going to backfire because it's everything that's has been like crushed up inside the barrel.
It's so perfect that I think the writing is able to build these characters up so quickly. Obviously, Shiso was around since the first season, and that's that part of the story is like, oh yeah, he was doing stuff early on. What was going on?
But it's been mostly in the background.
Yeah, it was like the stuff with the poison in season 1 and some other stuff, and then obviously the hunting party is a little more explicit, and then by the end, obviously, a lot of that stuff was his doing. But like Shenmei comes in and basically just controls the screen for 3 episodes. And has this like incredibly well thought out arc for her, and then is gone. And it helps play off the other Shi clan characters so well, helps kind of cement what Shiso was doing, why he was doing it, and also why like Shisui's life was the way it was.
Yeah. It's phenomenal writing. That's all I got to say. I understand now why the people who were watching this or were reading this light novel beforehand were so excited that it got an anime adaptation.
Yeah, it all these years later, it makes so much more sense now. It's like, holy shit, you guys knew.
Yeah,
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of that. I kind of want to read this now, honestly. I want to see like what the difference are and how much more detail is in the light novel in compared to the anime.
I will say, because we've kind of gotten to the end of the story here. I mean, I do like that final episode too. It kind of wraps up a lot of the stuff that happened in the season. Is a nice little bow. We have Maomao getting sent back to the Pleasure District to work at the, what is it called, Veritas House?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And kind of going back to where she was before all this, which is probably honestly where she wanted to be in the first place. And of course we get to watch Jinshi get cucked one more time before credits roll, which that was great.
Such an unserious scene to end the season on.
You know what?
That's
it
so funny.
almost felt like a breather, and I'm fine with that. Especially after all the stuff that had happened before with like the final arc. Like I'm okay with ending that way. I mean, of course, we also got we mentioned it before, the dance scene in the next to last episode.
Yeah,
That was cool.
I want to talk about that real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Sure,
Go ahead.
sure.
Before we
yeah.
wrap up, where I mean, obviously that scene's perfect. The music, the animation, the thematic.
You know what? That is the perfect scene from this season.
Yeah, but I honestly now, so I don't think it takes away from the scene, but the stinger at the end of the season, I need to see where we go with Shisui as a character now, because if that's it, I wouldn't be mad if that's it. She's gone. We never see her again. But if that's the case, if the case is that she's never coming back, I almost would have preferred she just not come back at all.
Like she actually died.
She actually dies.
Yeah,
Because
that is the big reveal in the after credits scene at in the final episode, is that, you know, despite her seemingly getting shot at least twice, once in the fucking chest, she is somehow alive. Now they don't really explain how that is.
They showed it.
Did they?
Yeah. She had the hairpin. On her
yeah,
chest.
that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, is there
that's
is there? Oh my God! Is there a bullet dent in the hairpin?
Yes. So
Yeah.
I just
when she
realized
gave
that.
it to the vendor,
a dent in
the
it.
vendor to trade it for that jade cricket, you see it dented
There's a
from a
dent in
bullet
it.
hole.
I just realized that, because I thought what happened was she pulled out like the little jewel or whatever that was in there to like sell it. But no, I just realized, oh my God, there's a bullet dent in it.
I just didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, I guess she survived. Like,
My God,
we'll
Shota
learn
was
about it at
paying
some
more
point.
attention to this than I was.
Bro, I was locked in.
See, okay,
they
in
showed
my defense,
in detail.
in my defense, at that point, my guard is let down, and I'm not as locked in as I was, okay? I thought the reveal was going to be, oh, she was wearing some kind of a bulletproof vest or something under there.
So ultimately,
it was-
I don't think I'll be like upset if that's all we get, and like it's fine. I think it's interesting enough, but I am like, okay, you don't normally do things like this without a reason.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
what is the reason? The problem is I can't mentally figure out what you would do with her. Because
See,
she can't really come back realistically, because like they would execute her.
they would execute
So
her on the spot.
So I don't really know.
I think, because I obviously I haven't read the source material, so I don't know. I also wonder if that final scene after the credits is like anime original, perhaps.
That I have no idea.
I don't know. If anyone who watches this has read Apothecary Diaries and knows, please let us know below in the comments. But I think the only way at this point you bring her back is through like a spin-off story.
Yeah, I don't need her back necessarily. I think that scene
No.
is now that I actually know the full extent of the scene, I think that scene's really good. And nice way to
I
end the
cannot
season.
believe I didn't put two and two together there when Maomao gave her the hairpin.
I just don't think I noticed like that it was a dent and not just like part of the hairpin. I was like, okay,
Like
whatever.
missing.
No, you saw the hairpin multiple times throughout the season
Uh-huh.
in detail. It was
God.
so it was when she pulled it out. I saw the dent in it. I'm like, oh, that's how she lived.
Look
Because
at that
they
smile. Look at that smile on his face, because like this is the reaction when good writing happens right here.
Well, it's
Yeah, it
also
is.
not something I realized watching it. Like that.
But you
That's
know-
so anime specific, where they can show it to you and not say anything.
They did show way earlier her like 2 or 3 episodes before when Maomao gave her the hairpin where she put it.
Yeah.
And then later on, the second to last episode, when she got shot, they showed her getting shot in the chest where she put it. You could have actually put it together before the last episode.
I'm upset that I did not put that together until right now.
My God. What a show.
What an absolute
I can't wait.
Amazing
I can't wait
show.
for season 3.
Yeah, a third season has been announced, although at least as of the time of this recording, premiere date has not been set, just that it is in production.
A year or two, I would imagine.
I will say, something that has shocked me, that we got 2 24-episode seasons in back-to-back years, pretty much. If they keep up this pace, we do have a problem, because it is rapidly catching up to the source material. That I have found out.
Yeah, it's past, I don't know about the Japanese volumes, but it's past the English release of the manga.
Yeah.
The most recent one that came out has the ice cream scene in it, which we didn't talk about real quick. The funniest scene in the entire season in retrospect, where they're freaking out. They need to make ice cream for Lolan, and she's just there, standing there, eating the ice cream that they're making.
That she's going to get
very
later.
Funny. Even though she even gets it, the person who was like standing in for her probably got it. But that seems so funny to me in retrospect.
Yeah, in retrospect, that is hysterically funny. Also, for anyone that's going to say that no one had ice cream back then, you'll never guess where ice cream was originally invented or how old it is.
Is it China?
No, ice cream was invented in the most unassuming place you'd ever think of. It was invented in Persia, in the middle of the fucking desert.
Well, I mean, honestly, that would be less unassuming. You need something cold.
I never realized that. I thought ice cream was a recent invention, but no, it's like 3,000 years old.
No, ice cream is ancient.
Ice cream is like a 3,000-year-old invention.
All you need is dairy and salt and ice.
And ice.
That's it.
Pretty much,
yeah.
And I mean, any fruit or whatever you want to use to flavor it with. But yeah, what a show. What an absolutely phenomenal show. I can't stress enough how much I love this show so far. It is one of the best things that's come out of this decade so far. And I listen, take your time with the third season if you need to. I mean, don't take like ReZero amounts of time and give us like 7 years between the seasons.
4 years
don't do that.
per ReZero season, which is the next one will not be 4 years, but also the first part was season 3 was only 12 episodes, right? I remember correctly.
Yeah, but it also was supposed to be all part of the same season, and they split it up and called it another season.
Yeah, although it was realistically second core.
It's realistically the second core of the third season, but they're calling it the fourth season. But anyway, take your time with it, because the last thing I want is for something this good to have to suffer from Full Metal Alchemist 03 syndrome. I really do not want an anime original ending to this, please.
I'd much rather do it. I hope they don't. I feel like a lot of studios and a lot of producers have learned this lesson by now, and that's the reason why we don't get anime original endings anymore.
It's done. We'll never get another one. Maybe we'll get every once in a while a bad one, but we're never gonna get an anime fully like something this popular. Like it's popular here. It's really popular in Japan. Like it's
no,
it's
the
like
bonkers.
A bestseller.
I read something not too long ago that said it is the best-selling light novel by a country mile over the last 2 years.
Which is insane.
It shows what a good. I mean, it's a great story, but it shows what a good adaptation will do for a source.
Yeah,
and yet people still don't understand that. Katakawa.
Yeah.
Ian, no, Ian.
I mean, he's right. He's out of line, but he's right.
Like, at least, like, you say what you want. At least the Shueisha people like seem to understand that they should have their manga have good adaptations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not wrong there.
I am super looking forward to what happens in the third season. I'm assuming we're gonna get a continuation and hopefully a deepening like look at the blossoming romance between Jinchi and Mao Mao.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to think about it. I'm trying to think of like plot lines that are still like plot threads that are still out there, and there
Or what could
aren't.
come up like to create a new plot line.
Yeah,
maybe.
well, there just aren't as many things.
Open
I mean, there are
threads.
things that I can see easily being, stuff with the new crown prince that was born at the end of the season. There's still plenty of concubine stuff. They have to find a new fourth concubine as well.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of stuff that can happen. I'm trying to think of things that we didn't learn the answers to this season. On there isn't a ton that comes to mind. I'm sure there will be things that was like, oh, that, like a little one-off thing that I can't remember. But like in terms of big, because one of the big ones from season 1 was, where did Suire go? Like, she died, came back to life, and left the real palace.
She was adopted by Ao Dao, along with the rest of the kids.
No, I mean at the end of the first season. I was saying.
That's an open thread from the first season that comes
at the
back
end of the first season,
season.
we had some open plot threads of like, oh, what's going on with Jinchi's identity? What's going on? What happened with that woman who left the real palace? I don't feel like there are as many very like obvious mysteries to me. So I'm interested to see what new things they're going to build up, or things they're already working on that they haven't told us about that'll be in the third season.
Speaking of Jinchi's identity, I'm very curious as to what will happen now with Jinchi, considering there's a new heir crown prince. So what's going to happen to the current prince?
I don't know.
Yeah, because he's no longer technically the heir apparent.
No, it would be the emperor's son.
Yeah, not the brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that's interesting. You know what? If I'm gonna throw out a wild guess that the third season will involve some kind of like endemic or epidemic plot line, a plague of some sort, maybe.
Sure, that would fit. You know
maybe.
what? There is the big one is the caravan.
Oh, the foreigners, the Westerners.
Yes, that would be the big one that we don't have an answer to. Of
that
what
is
exactly
probably the biggest.
For.
That is the biggest dangling like plot thread out there that hasn't been resolved at all yet. Yeah.
Yes. So
maybe that will be something that comes back in the third season where we get like some foreign influence or something in the palace. Maybe
that could be how. What's her name? We were just Lolan. What's her actual name?
Shisui comes back potentially.
Yeah, because she literally said at the very end, "Oh, overseas. Maybe I'll go there."
Yup.
Boom, boom, boom. Maybe this is how she comes back.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down here.
Maybe we'll see.
This is what they should do.
We'll see. If one thing I will know is that Mao Mao will be back. She will be voiced by Aoyuki, and it will be the best character and voice actor pairing of all time. God bless them getting Aoyuki to voice Mao Mao, because I could not imagine a better voice actor for Mao Mao.
This has been like the best couple years of being like early to something, where I've been a huge fan of Aoyuki for forever, for the most part. And then suddenly she's like one of the most well-known
prolific,
because of Mao Mao. It's just been like a really nice like thing to see. Like the last couple of years have been the presenter for the r/anime awards, like best seiyuu performance award. And literally in 23 for the 23 awards, we were talking about, I don't remember who won, but we were talking about how like, oh man, like Aoyuki wasn't because she wasn't eligible because it came out at the end of 23 and the show wasn't done yet. We were literally talking about 2 years ago, like, oh man, like that performance as Mao Mao was so good. And then she won for the 24 awards. And so we had that like moment of like coming back and being like, we were ahead here. We were correct. So it's just really, really fun to see.
Now she has a chance to go back to back?
Maybe. Good chance.
Yeah.
I'm just saying she should have won an award for voicing Tanya. Just saying.
Her range is
It's
ridiculous.
amazing. Her
Insane.
range is
Yeah.
insane as a voice actor.
Madoka, like
Madoka, Tanya, Maomao, 15 fucking thousand characters in Fate.
her a Tiamat is her best role. That only makes sense to very specific people, but Tiamat, not like the new alter ego Tiamat, like original Beast Tiamat. Again, you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. I'm talking to myself here.
I'll do some research later.
Yeah, the research would have to be to play like dozens of hours of Fate Go and get through
not
the
the
story.
type of research I was saying.
No.
But yeah, sure.
Okay.
We'll do that.
To end this to end this off, I mean, we'll all give our scores here. I'll go first. This was better. I gave the first season a 9 out of 10. I feel like this season is better. It's maybe not exactly perfect, so I don't want to give it a 10 out of 10. Maybe season 3 will be my 10 out of 10. I'm giving this a 9.5 out of 10. Beautiful art and animation, beautiful character development and character depth in this season. Phenomenal writing. It's a complete package of an anime for me.
I had this listed as an 8 out of 10, but after we've talked about this so much and I'm realizing how much I actually loved it, I'm bumping it up to a 9 out of 10. This was damn near perfect. Like,
Yeah.
very few things are perfect for me, but this was very close. I genuinely loved it that much. I think, like, the only thing that I'm knocking it down for is I feel like there might have been a couple scenes here and there, maybe an episode that could have been cut out. But overall, like, 9 out of 10. Holy shit.
The slightly sexual assaulty things that were going on around that waterfall.
I'm used to that shit.
Whoa! Don't say that.
If you are a veteran weeb, you are used to so much worse.
Okay,
that's
fair
nothing.
Enough. Fair enough. I too have seen High School DxD.
I've watched Berserk.
Oh God. All right, Ian. What do you give this?
Oh, following that up, I gave it a 9 out of 10, and like I was really close to a 10, and I don't even have like my ratings don't matter, right? My
No.
10s are usually something that is like an all-time favorite or something that like connects very deeply on an emotional level with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so usually 9 just winds up being the best score I can give things. And like this was really close. These change. I might go back and give it a 10. I've done that before with stuff. I kind of have to, because I literally finished it like today because I was busy over the weekend. And so I probably need to sit on a little more. It's at a 9 right now, but it could very much be a 10. It could also be something where first season's a 9, second season's a 9, and then by the time we have a complete story or whatever we're going to get it for a complete story, the series is a 10, right? There's there's that whole aspect to it as well.
Yeah, I've had that too, where I would give like the first season maybe a 8 or a 9, and then by the end of it, whether the third, fourth season, once the series is over, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. Like one season might not be anywhere near as good as the others, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
The overall build-up, the big picture, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say this is definitely one of those where I'll be screaming to the high heavens to everyone that can hear, please, dear God, we'll go watch this.
I would hope if you've gotten this far into the episode, you have watched it.
Yeah.
Unless you're like me and you don't give a shit about spoilers. But yeah, that is our spoiler cast for the Apothecary Diaries Season 2. Thank you for joining us, Ian. I would love to have you on more spoiler casts because we love doing these. It's one of our favorite things to do on the podcast.
Ian, stop being so busy.
I was also going to say the problem is I need to be watching and completing things. I haven't watched a lot of seasonal stuff this year. I've been watching a lot of older, not older like old, but like stuff from last year I never finished.
Yeah. Well, we do also do from time to time spoiler cast for like what we call legacy spoiler cast for older shows. Just because we feel like doing them. We want to start going through Shinichiro Watanabe's work as a director and start doing spoiler cast on those. Love to have you on for those.
Yeah, I should rewatch Bebop. So honestly, maybe.
this one over here needs to watch Bebop for the first time.
I literally have the Blu-ray of
And he hasn't watched
the
it.
show and the movie right there.
But yeah, it was great to have
So-
you on. We would love to have you come back for more Spoilercast in the future, or just for anything.
Ian-
We love having you on, Ian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ian, I have a question for you.
Sure.
If you know, what's your next video gonna be?
Oh.
I don't.
God damn it!
Like,
Check
I
back
have a-
in like 8 months when he finally finishes it.
yeah, right,
Right.
exactly. I have a couple things I'm like in the idea phase for, but nothing. Because like last time I was on, I was literally, I had a Premiere file for the Elusive Samurai video. It just wasn't done. Right now, I don't know. At some point this year, I'll probably make a Steins Gate video. I don't know if that's gonna be the
Nice.
next video though.
That's another
That'd be
one.
hype.
That's another older anime I'd love to do a spoiler cast on.
There's like a lot of stuff I'm working on that like need to do research is, I guess research is the right word, but like I wanted to do a solo leveling video earlier this year, but I wanted to have the context of the entire manhwa, and that's just such a so much, it's just like all work to go in that I haven't worked on that. I just think that would do well because it's such a popular series. And then I recently watched G-Quux and like might.
Is
do
that how
like a-
you say it? Because I've been saying it so wrong.
Yes, it's G-Quux. It's a Q, not a C.
That's how you say it.
I kept saying G-Cucks.
No, it's G-Quux.
Wait, what?
It's
That's-
a Q.
I literally thought that's how it's supposed to be pronounced.
As far as I know, from what I remember when watching it, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's G-Quux.
I've been saying it wrong. Oh my god, I'm a terrible anime fan.
It's okay. Everyone here is.
But yeah,
Lit-
do if you've made it this far, first of all, thank you. But also check down below. I'll have links to Ian's channel where you can watch his lovely video essays that he does every 7 months.
Maybe we'll get a second
Quality
one this year.
work.
Who
Hey,
even
listen.
knows?
Listen, sometimes you gotta wait for quality, and that quality is often worth it.
Look, the Elusive Samurai video, I think I tweeted this, was not the "this took me months to make" in the fun way. It was the "this took me months to make because I wasn't working on it" way. So, like the Full Metal video took months to make because I was, well, a combination of the two. The Chainsaw Man video is the one that actually took me months to make working on it.
But you enjoyed
Sorry.
that one.
That was a aside. Continue.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, check down below for links to all of his stuff. I'll link his socials. I'll link his YouTube channel. I would say, do you have any projects you want to plug? But Shinoda already took care of that.
Yeah.
I do not.
Also, thank you everyone for stopping by to watch us talk about this. Let us know down below what you thought of this season of the Apothecary Diaries. I would love to hear everyone's opinions on it. Also, don't forget to like this if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more. Check down below where you can find links to all the stuff Anime Club After Dark does, whether it's Twitter, TikTok, Discord, Spotify, whatever. We also have a link to our merch store down there where you can support us that way if you would like. With all that being said, I have been your host, Alex, and we will see you next time. Say goodnight, guys.
Bye.
Do drugs, kids.
No!